brand new trailer. We were anticipating it today, but a brand new trailer and the first trailer for the upcoming, it's not a biopic that Taron Egerton would want to make sure we know, but the first trailer for Rocketman has landed and hit online, and a lot of people seem to be liking it a lot. Now, of course, remember, on Friday, the first image of Taron Egerton as Elton John got released. It was a great looking picture. Look, you do somebody up in the right makeup and almost anybody can look the part. So, but they did a good job. That picture that came out on Friday looked really good of Egerton as Elton John. So this trailer comes out. It's only a 1-minute tease. It's a first trailer, 1-minute teaser, all that kind of stuff. But in watching the trailer, you can really tell what Taron Egerton was talking about. Because remember, last Friday, we were talking about how Taron was saying that everybody's assuming this is an Elton John biopic, and it's really not a biopic. It's a fantasy musical, is the way that he described it. It's a fantasy musical that does go over and highlight some of the more formative events in Sir Elton John's life and career, but it's really a fantasy musical. And I remember saying at the time that it sounds to me kind of like they're describing Moulin Rouge a little bit, which is an exciting prospect for me because I love Moulin Rouge. I think Moulin Rouge is amazing. Absolutely, this trailer does kind of have the feel of a Moulin Rouge a little bit. There are definitely fantasy elements. He said there was going to be lots of musical numbers that don't even involve Elton John, and they kind of give you glimpses of that throughout the trailer. The whole scene of people start gravitating and levitating off the floor. Fantastic. Again, the costumes look absolutely perfect. It looks really good. I mean, again, it doesn't really tell us much. It's a first trailer, not expecting a lot to be in there as far as really getting some of the meat about what's the movie really about, what's the real tone of the film. But hey, just putting in some of those great, musical notes from it, getting to see some of the costumes, some of the fantasy elements. It's a nice little way to start. Solid little opening trailer. I will say this. We know that Taron's doing all the singing. I mean, at least for the Elton John parts. He's doing all of his own singing. While he did a much better job than I would have done, and it's not bad, I will admit that hearing Taron's voice trying to sing, Rocketman, it took me out of it a bit. I will say that. Now, you might fairly be able to make the argument, John, anybody's voice other than Elton John's singing those songs would have probably been quite a distraction and probably taken you out of it a lot. Fair. That's a fair thing to say. It is. Nonetheless, it did take me out of it a little bit at the end, hearing his voice doing it. I don't know. I don't know if he was the right guy to do it. I don't know if using him as the singing parts was the right thing to do. Granted, it's just a few bars we heard him sing. It might be much, much better in the movie. And again, he did way better than I would have done. And again, the whole, you could come back at me and say, John, any voice would have made you feel awkward if it's not Elton John's. That's all true. We'll have to wait and see. But for a first little trailer, not a bad first outing. All right, let's move on to this off the top as well.